everyone, and welcome back to the European Summer Challenger Series 2 play-in. 10 teams have entered, but after today, only 5 will continue in their quest for a shot at an LCS berth. Our second elimination match is the #1 team in Nordic East, Invaders, and they're facing against Broken Shard's new team, SK Gaming Prime.
Yeah, only 2 teams from Nordic East made it out of the round of 20, and Invaders is one of them. And Invaders actually has Mazarin on it. He's new to the team.
Yeah.
They won in 25 minutes previously, and tell me a little bit about Mazarin.
Yeah, so Mazarin, if you guys haven't seen him for a while, he was at Season 3 Worlds for Gaming Gear EU. They beat TSM. So actually, I think they placed above them in the standings, if I recall properly as well. So GGEU came out of the wildcard group. Mazarin is a player you guys might have seen for a little while. He pretty much just plays Orianna and Yasuo. If you don't ban them, he's going to pick one of the 2 of them. I'm surprised teams haven't banned Orianna against him every single time. He got the champion in the round of 20. So a little bit silly there by his opponents, but that's kind of the thing that I kind of identify him for, is a very obvious sort of 2-champion pool. And he's a good player who's got a bunch of experience.
Yeah, and he's up against SK Prime's mid laner Ro10, who we saw previously alongside Zyze as their AD carry. So Ro10 has always kind of been their rock, and Zyze has always been their carry. He's been the siege, or the harpoon behind the strategy.
Yeah.
He's the person that they funnel a lot of farm into. He went 17-4 and 11, and that was in a 23-minute game. They got 40 kills for SK Gaming Prime.
Kind of crazy.
Huge. That's a bloodbath. That is an immense amount of kills. About a kill every 30 seconds happening in that game.
That's just on one side.
For your team. Yeah, exactly.
20 kills on the other side as well. There's like a whole bunch of... I mean, Zyze got so far, he bought 2 Infinity Edges.
Yeah.
Didn't even need to. Just did. Because they're that far ahead. I mean, it was a weird game. It was a fun game overall, but certainly they can fight really well. And of course, again, SKP, they've got Broken Shard on the roster as well.
Yeah, he's the new guy coming in here. He played Rengar previously. He actually had the most deaths on his team, which kind of speaks to Broken Shard's style of dive, make things happen for my team, get my AD carry to the 17-4 and 11 point. Actually, another thing here, too, is that Ro10, I said he was the rock. He actually had the highest KDA on the team in the previous split. Despite losing to H2K 2-0, I think it was.
Yeah.
They ended up with a 6.5 KDA on that mid lane. He only died 6 times.
In an 0-2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Throughout their entire their entire run last season.
Yeah.
They lost in the round of 8. Means they do have some points.
Yes.
And they're looking to continue that on if they win this game.
Which means, as long as I think they make 4th, I think they're almost guaranteed a spot in the playoffs as well. So certainly this team could look very good. It could be a team we're going to see in the playoffs if they continue to do well. Of course, SK Prime, definitely a lot of good players as well. And so I want to sort of see how this team shapes up, because I think they have a lot of good individual skill. As you mentioned, the loss to H2K, like, of course, they went and won the whole thing. They dropped 1 map the entire time. So you could even say that SKP's run was cut short. Maybe these guys go much farther, right?
That's
Maybe
true.
these guys, I mean, theoretically, they could be the 2nd or 3rd best team just based on the results so far. So I do want to see how they perform here.
2nd best team got 2-0'd by H2K.
Yeah.
So don't know what type of yardstick H2K is. Maybe they're just really long and we can't see the top of it, or it's okay. Maybe all the other teams are around the same point, and it was just seeding or however they ended up, whoever they ended up fighting, and it's just bad luck that they fought H2K early. So we're going to be able to decide that.
Yeah, and that's of course the beauty of playing 5's ladder, is if you're seed 1 or 2, you guarantee that you skip playing one of the early seeded teams. So if you're rank 1 or 2 in ladder, you're not facing H2K until at least the semifinals, right? And it's like, hey, if you want to make sure you actually get that deep run, then go ahead and rank up a little bit.
Which would end up happening here because they're playing Invaders, who was seed #1 in Nordic East, which means they're seed 2.
Yeah.
So if they end up winning this, they will bypass all those 3 other teams.
Until semis, where of course you kind of have to, because there's only 4 teams left. But that's going to be the case here. We are in a champ cycle. Let's get this one started. Invaders on the blue side, representing Nordic and East. Skarner banned away Broken Shard. I actually asked Broken Shard about Skarner yesterday. I was like, so to me, Skarner's the new hotness. What do you think? And he's like, well, he's actually an amazing top laner. He thinks he beats up Aurelia, thinks he beats up Shyvana, hasn't seen the Jax matchup, but actually makes a good top laner. In the jungle, he says he's too reliant on Flash to gank well, and relies too much on snowballing to be a good mid-game. That his tanking is so item reliant that, like, you better get ahead or you're not useful, even though you can kidnap people. So
kidnap them?
I love the term kidnap for Skarner. I think it's the best term.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, it works perfectly. Skarner's the kidnapping jungler. You don't need Flash to insect people. You just press R and walk backwards.
That's awesome. I've never heard that before. That's awesome.
It's all I use.
That's
I just say
all I think of
kidnap
now.
Ashe, and they're like, all right, we're going to kill that person now. Well, Kale removed away Yasuo. There we go. Against, actually, interestingly,
banned himself.
Banned against What2Fox. So, well, Cassidy's still on the table, but What2Fox will play it. And I want to see, will he ban Ori against Mazarin?
Nope.
Okay, they're
going their own.
Well, it could be 3 mid lane bans up against these guys. I know Broken to want to play Lee Sin here, so I feel like it wouldn't be a typical ban for SK Prime, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a read on what's going on here when you start banning your own champions.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to first pick our mid laner here unless we get rid of something like...
Unless you whittle the pool down.
Yeah, whittle the pool down and then make it so that you get like the scraps that are left. But banning out your own Yasuo means that if they ban the Orianna, then you're pretty much left with nothing from Mazarin's champion pool.
Sure.
You'll have to go on something that he's not as potent on or we've seen him on.
Absolutely. It was one thing to keep in mind as well, actually, with this one for What2Fox is everything he's played in Challenger Series has been banned away or is unlikely to be played, right? Yasuo banned, Kassadin banned, champions played before. Nidalee got reworked and LeBlanc lost to silence on her Q. We haven't seen her played since. And so, I mean, we talk about Mazarin champion pool, but also I don't know what What2Fox is going to play.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I wouldn't be surprised to see first pick Orianna come out here just to lock something down because they've whittled down these mid lane pools really, really far. Of course, What2Fox, he still does have Twisted Fate in his back pocket. But that's a champion he can always whip out. He can play the Zed, but no, they're going to go with the Lee Sin, steal it away from Broken Shard.
I think it's a good choice.
You don't want him on Lee Sin. He played that all throughout the promotion tournament, had a really good showing on that in NA. He's actually qualified for both LCSs, so he has cross-region experience right now.
There you go.
You can pick and choose what strategy is the best. What can he do? He's a great theory crafter as well.
Well, speaking of what's the best, actually, in theory crafting, it's fun to see what the new AD carry tier list is for various people. So last time we didn't see Lucian Victor banned at all. I remember listening to...
Or Cog.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Cog either. Who? I remember talking with, or listening to Shock's interview with Mr. Rales after SHC's win. He was like, I was surprised they went for Twitch. I figured they would grab Lucian, then I would get Cog. He's like, so Lucian's #1, Cog's #2 is what I got from that. Well, here's Lucian grabbed right now for Ziz, or Ziz, I forget. And then you're like, yeah, and I think Lucian Cog is the 1-2 right now. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. But Zig's going to come through here for What2Fox, so SK Prime, kind of pretty safe picks for them.
Yeah, Cog's definitely #1 in Korea right now.
That's true.
Banned pretty much every game last night. And there's such a high priority on that champion. Would be really surprised if I don't see it today. In Silver Carry, he might go for something like a Caitlyn, try to go even with Lucian in lane. He did play it previously. And so far, locking up the Ziggs really early, though, is the thing here for What2Fox. That's something that's actually surprising because he gets his mid lane champion out. They do have last pick available to them, but instead they're going to look to make it so that they can counter pick some other lane, possibly top lane right now, since there's been so many bans oriented towards it in this game. That picking your mid lane very early on, just go ahead, take another thing out of Mazarin's champion pool. We leave him with Twisted Fate right now.
Yeah.
We leave him with a couple other things. There's always Zed. There's always LeBlanc still.
There's a player anyway.
There's Syndra still around.
True.
He'll probably go for Ori though.
Yeah.
Just on the overall, he'll go for Ori most likely.
Yeah, it seems to be the like situation. I feel like the mid's champion pool is actually pretty wide anyway in general. Like the things you expect to see in champs, like you can like list off for like 20 champs and be like, oh yeah, I could totally do this, that, the other thing.
Mid's
like,
really big.
There's a million of them out there. It's just what teams are used to playing because you gotta hone in on something at some point. Jarvan ends up being the pick here, likely for Broken Shard. I've seen top Jarvan. There's always the chance, but I think it's the Lucian Zyra bot lane. Ziggs definitely mid. There's the Orianna, however, the Caitlyn as well for Silver Carry. Why the heck not? Champs that would be very expected to see locked in.
Yes. The Orianna and the Caitlyn, we saw that one coming. Makes sense. Yeah. We did see an Orianna Lulu last game. Didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
Ended up losing that game there for Tricked.
Yeah, I like this comp less actually because there's much less sort of AoE burst to come through. Like,
yeah,
I was talking to Doublelift after they ran Orianna Jinx. I think it was last week in the NALCS, and he's like, "Yeah, I really hate Orianna Jinx because like I can never hit the rocket." I'm like, "Just press R on the ball; they go there." And he's like, "Yeah, huh? That is how that works, huh?" But like that was like a comp that they were trying to run like multiple times until Double said he hated it for whatever reason, even though it makes total sense. But Caitlyn doesn't have that same sort of impact where it's like you kind of want a wombo on top of the shockwave, and that's not what these guys can do right here.
Yeah, this is actually the exact same team composition from Invaders that we saw Tricked use, except that it's a Caitlyn instead of a Jinx.
Right.
It's exactly the same.
Oh, same region. You figure they play against each other.
Yep.
I like the comp right here in this one. Last few picks come through. It's going to be Shyvana top lane. It will be the Jarvan jungle here. And SK Prime have put their roster together. A lot of good ways in on fights, and a whole bunch of damage to shoot through it as well.
Yeah, and despite Elise being available and all these other junglers open for Broken Shard, aside from just Skarner and Lee Sin, opts for the Jarvan, wants that gap closer, wants to make sure that he can go ahead and get up in your face very easily.
Yep. Lots of style.
Lock people down. Yeah, I like this, though, because they have tiny bit of Wombo, because it's Zyra support. They can mesh that together.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't... Like, both of these team compositions, there's a like dedicated tank, 2 dedicated tanks on SK Gaming Prime.
Yep.
Then they have the wave clear from Ziggs, so they can do a lot here. They have the disengage from the Zyra. They have a lot of options, and they're pretty much just going to play standard games. They're going to be like, all right, let's 5v5 each other.
I feel like there's a good chance of that one. There's definitely a lot less individual playmaking in this case. It is more team fight based. I do like the fact that there are a ton of threats in SK Prime. I think Shyvana actually hedges bets really well between being a tank and a damage threat. Burnout does so much damage. You often go for Ruin King on her as well. And Ruin King is arguably better on the champion now. You could make the case for it, I guess, either way. And just like, and you've got Zyra as well. And if you go for the Leandries type Zyra build, and you've got like 4 big damage threats, Jarvan ultimately just becomes a tank after Lizard Elder. And so, yeah, I like SK Prime's lineup. You got a lot of threats. I think it's a really good way to play the game.
Yeah, a lot of threats, a lot of people who can do damage to the enemy team that they have to pay attention to. See what they can do with that, because right now these compositions don't look like they have a whole lot in terms of just inter-synergy with each other. It's kind of, we're going to team fight, and if they have a lot of situational things for SKP here.
I think SKP has enough.
They're like, we can disengage.
Jarvan Shiv into like press R is decent.
Exactly. It's like, we can Wombo a little bit. We can wave clear very well with Ziggs. They won't be able to siege up on us, so we have that. And we also have Lucian who can wave clear. We can siege up. We can siege them. We can stop them from sieging us. We can poke them down. And we have disengage from Zyra. Then we also have engage in our top and jungle. Invaders actually staying true to their name, going for an invade, but Smitty sees Silver Carry right now.
Silver Carry chose the wrong spot to be in, so Trinket Ward comes down at 150 and Smitty backs off. Invaders ping out where they expect their opponents to be. This is the normal spot for SK Prime to be, so careful about this one. Gonna ping back and forth. Broken Shard did start flag, which is normal for Jarvan, so lets him check brushes. And there's the Invaders autobiography here. Check the brush. Did not catch SKP there.
3 on 5.
Yeah, SKP can't start the fight, but they can watch things and get away.
Broken Shard sitting around, gonna watch them exit, or watch at least Lee Sin exit.
Okay, he saw Lee Sin leave. And the rest he knows, or he thinks, are recalling. They've pulled 5 in. How good are the recalls here? If there's anyone left, they're going to die. Ha! They're all gone. Well, they know to expect the recall. They're like, this got warded. But now there's really no information on SK Prime except that their Lee Sin, or the enemy Lee Sin is kind of the top left side of the map, likely starting blue, which he is.
Going to mirror each other in that regard. And we're going to have 2-on-2 lanes in the bottom.
Okay.
Looks like we're going to have 1-on-1s in the top. Lulu versus Shyvana.
This is going to be interesting, actually. So I think Lulu definitely wins the top lane matchup there. Shyvana's going to have a fairly hard time against all the poke. But the bottom lane matchup is an interesting sort of lopsided situation because Cade is a better bully than Lucian, but I think Zyra works very well against Thresh.
Yeah.
You can block hooks with plants, and you can just poke him out a whole bunch.
Saw it earlier today.
Yeah.
A lot of good seeds being laid down to block hooks.
Well, look at that. And there's the harass coming through. Of course, Zyra doesn't do much when her Q's on cooldown. You're seeing Silver Carry and Cookie trying to push this lane out, and they're going to get level 2 first.
Yep. Using the Targon as much as they can. Or gets the Relic Shield.
Oh, missed one.
Make it so that they can share the CS. Yeah, they're going to get that level 2 first. They're trying to bully him out. Zeiss, usually he is the big carry for this team. He's the person that they funnel a lot of gold into, a lot of CS into, and they give a lot of attention to as well. Whereas Wat the Fox, they usually rely on him to just win his lane. See how he can do against Mazarin. And at the same time, level 2 came out there for both Zeiss and Zaitan.
I was like really worried about that, like just killing him outright. There was a chance.
Really early in the game for that underneath the turret. Have to see. There is an Ignite on Zaitan, so he's looking to get really aggressive. They can get a root down and return some damage. Very possible. Yeah. Silver Carry, he's actually going to take a lot.
Wow, that was so much onto that Caitlyn. And this is the interesting test actually on lanes like this. So typically you start 4 potions on supports. And now there's a lot of poke, of course, available on both these sides, whether it's Caitlyn or Zyra Lucian. And so the test is really how many potions have you lost? Because as soon as you're out of potions and half HP, you've got to give up so much farm in your lane.
He's going to go bully Broken Shard. Broken Shard's going to get that one for himself.
Good smite.
Doesn't have a gap closer just yet. Oh!
The battle, the red buff, of course, is there. Mr. goes in for this battle. Watchdogs forced away, but Mazrin's around. The knockup doesn't quite land, but Mr. on a 1-hit from dead. The attack comes in. Broken Shard finds first blood, reclaims the buffs, and now Mazrin, he's got to be real careful.
About to have Flag and Drag.
Chosen One's coming down. Flag and Drag used. Damage comes through. He's got the shield onto himself as well. Red buff slow, still coming through. Mazrin has the flash, and Broken Shard now very low on health. He's put the shield back on. 200 HP left on him.
Flag 2.
Flash Q, auto attack, not quite enough damage. Broken Shard stays safe. Now hook on his side, the bottom lane, Flay in, but there's some plants coming out, making life difficult.
They just do so much base damage with those plants. Usually when you have a support Zyra, you get to the end of the game and check damage dealt. Usually top 2.
Yeah.
For some reason, just so much harassment.
You can work you guys down. So a lot of money's been earned for Zyra. And you can see already like used all 4 of his potions there. That poor Zyra getting harassed a lot, but he's getting so much damage down, who cares? Puts a slowing plant down, Silver Carry losing a whole bunch of damage. Look at that, nice job getting in there.
Yeah, and that plant will do a little bit of zoning, but ends up getting shares the relic with the plant.
That's unfortunate, that's the missed money right there. Misses the cannon right there as well, Silver Carry. The Q didn't come out in time, so you're seeing this bottom lane actually getting worse pretty quickly for invaders.
Yeah, and you do have to keep in mind that it'll look like Silver Carry has more CS because they're killing plants.
True.
Every now and then
it'll lie to you a bit.
It'll add up a little bit, but he won't be that far ahead in gold, or even ahead at all. Right now, we actually see Mr. coming top just to ward it.
And look how far back they're playing. Silver Carry, 300 health. Zeiss gets another Q.
He's been lining those up so well all game.
Absolutely. And it's really a thing to keep in mind as well is that your primary form of sustaining is both life-stealing and last-hitting minions here. So
look at that again.
Yeah, he's just lining them up so incredibly well, and the health bar is just going up for Zeiss, of course.
Broken Shard and Watson Fox will go ahead and invade together. Make sure it's cleared out post-haste. Now Roman all around. Broken sees it. He's outside of the bush, actually.
It's okay. He was outside of the sight line. That was actually really cool. Goes, doesn't quite land the lockup, but does get a slow there, of course. Refreshed red buff from the first blood. Gonna be nice. Has that still 6 minutes into the game. Mr. getting pushed around in his own jungle. Broken Shard. Not even letting him get the wraiths.
He's got 2 long swords to the 1 of Mr. You want that little wraith? Fight me. Fight me IRL. Come in. Oh,
takes it away.
Wow, in front of him?
Whatever.
Wow.
Should have smited that. just for bragging rights.
Wow.
All right, well, Broken takes that one away. Of course, nothing else for Mr. to grab. Trick gets over the wall, make sure that Jarvan has left his jungle. I'll go back for his double golems and all that normal stuff now, but you can see the bot lane. It is still within 3 minions here, but I don't know, man. This lane is just so rough right now for invaders.
I want to see what they end up building first, especially on the Lucian. Some people have been baited into the Trinity Force still. Some people are like, okay, I'm going to go straight for the IE. Others are Blade of the Ruined King. 3 different first items for him that I've seen so far. Most people will go for IE, Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, the one I actually see most frequently is Ruined King and then into Youmuu's.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Youmuu's is extremely cost effective when you have the active out.
Absolutely it is. One of the best items you can get. Nice dodge there in the trap, but big damage. Silver Carry, 2 hits from dead. Forced to back away Cookie. They're taking damage from plants and the AD carry. You see it again, SKP finding good trade.
What the Fox is 6, and there's the bomb.
Can he get it? Oh, picks up the Caitlyn. Cookie crumbling down in the bottom lane. He's got to go ahead and recall back.
Baked that Cookie right up. Silver Carry, though, on the other hand, a little more toasty.
Yep, he's gone
He's
for
done.
now. Silver's been melted.
Take him out of the oven.
It's tarnished a bit, actually, with that death. Mazrin is kind of holding on to the mid lane. 8 minions down. Both these guys have their chalices, though, so pretty normal stuff for these guys. Both AD carries have backed as well. Of course, Caitlyn didn't have to hit recall for that one, but BF sword now on both these guys. So really, this lane is like holding equal to a sense, just because when they get back in the lane, it's still the same items. And maybe there's a way back in now that they've got a little bit more damage, a little bit more sustain back in.
Junglers just doing their second route. handing off the blue buffs. And really not a lot of attention from them, except for the mid lane when we had that brawl back and forth. That also pulled the Chosen One down as well. Smitty's been holding parity to Chosen One actually all game.
Yeah, it's really impressive play by him to hold this matchup really nicely. He recalled very early as soon as he could get Negatron Cloak, and that was his way to hold on to the lane off of the Doran Shield start. And so far, it's been pretty good. Chosen One's running out of mana there. He's going to need his trip towards either Athene's or Merlinomicon soon for the regen. We've seen some guys go triple Doran's Ring actually. I know Soaz did it once, and he said, yeah, the cost though is that I can't have room for wards anymore though.
Yep. And most top laners like, wards or whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
Jarvan's
only super scary.
Looks like he's going to go for the Athenes though. Teleporting back up to the top lane. Smitty has his as well. Yeah. Go ahead and see what he ends up building for himself. Mister's actually coming to this bottom lane around. Cookie, there's the Lantern.
Comes in, Lantern, good damage. He's got to be real careful. Knockups come by, and that's actually a kill picked up for the Zyra to start things out. So much damage comes through.
Calling.
Silver carry goes down as well. In the 2v3, SK Prime wins the fight.
Broken Shard, he's coming down as well. Mister actually, he lands the Q. He's going to take it. No, he's not. Broken Shard is still there. Back and forth here. 2 for 1 in favor of SKP. And you can see right there, they put a lot on Zai's shoulders. He still has his heal, he still has his flash, and he's able to just lift this too.
And see if he can make his way up right there. And looks like no one's even going to try to defend this right there. So Broken Shard is there in case the Lee Sin stayed. Maybe they can force something. I don't think so though, with no health, no mana on Zai's. Now he just protects him as he clears the wave. Then out they go. So SKP gonna stay happy.
Yeah, a lot of times as a jungler, you'll gauge people off of what would I do, especially people you don't know. Like, I would do this. Broken Shard's like, if I was Lee Sin and I saw that low HP Lucian, I would do this.
Stick around.
I would stick around and get him.
Instead, Broken Shard.
Or I would if
that was Lee Sin, I would
Wraith.
lose my big Wraith. Broken Shard clears the camp away, stealing even more in this one. Neither guy has their Lizard Elder just yet, but boots on Lee Sin is a nice thing to have. Broken Shard clears away a ward and keeps control over this bottom jungle. You're seeing actually the southern jungle. The ward control is there for SKP. They are keeping tabs on Mister the whole time.
Broken Shard heading down bottom. Flashes are still available for both bottom members of Invaders. They're actually going to see this now.
This is not going to be good. Can they get the knockup to go? Flame. It's
going
to be nice, but still the knockup on a Cookie. Flash the wave for. Actually, wow. Both of them for. Silver Carry still had his Trinket ward up. Didn't put it down and try.
Mister coming mid. They saw this, though.
Starts with the flash kick. Q's going to land. What the Fox, not a happy place. Dissonance, Shockwave as well. Big damage. Flash is in, but not going to be nearly enough. Mazarin claims the kill. Nicely done, Invaders.
Ends up flashing. Using his flash. Mazarin does as well. Same with Mister. So it's 3 flashes in the mid lane, completely blown. And using the big thing there with the kick flash is usually people get queued off of the flash that they need to flash. Because the kick has a little bit of a cast time, and that's why you can do it. So when you flash kick backwards, a lot of people can actually just flash to the other side of you. Oh, Mister. He's going to try.
He's going to land. Damage comes through. Uh-oh. Broken Shard does get pushed out. The smite comes through. Looks like Broken Shard actually still got that one with the smite. So Raze, always his battle in the bot lane, though. Cookie's got to be real careful. Zyra ulti, minions in the way. The knock at the flash, the jump in. Yes, he gets it. Zai's taking out another one. 2-0-2 on the guy.
Got him with the edge of the Stranglethorn. Actually, yes, the Stranglethorn. Yep. Knocking him up. And there. Oh, who's going to take it?
Zaitan will. He's okay.
The heal was still available, too. Zai's like calculated.
It's like, nah, I got this.
Not even going to heal you. It's fine.
So more than half of Infinity Edge there for Zai's, though. That is, you're seeing this lane rapidly deteriorate for these guys. Top lane is finally working for Invaders, though. Chosen One has pushed Smitty out of the lane. He's waiting for minions to die before he kills the turret off. To deny as much gold and XP as possible. Does so now. Top lane turret going down actually makes this game a 500 gold game, thanks to the very well-performing top lane.
Yeah, and nobody's made a move for Dragon just yet. And you're right, the top laner, 20 CS up, gets his turret by himself as Lulu. You said early on that it's going to go in her favor.
Yeah.
He's just going to bully the Shyvana around, bully Smitty around in the early game. And see, when he gets to that point, he's going for the Blade of the Ruined King. So he'll show up to fights and have some damage threat. This is after the Spectre's Cowl. He might actually just sit on the Bilgewater, but now Blade of the Ruined King is just incredible.
Absolutely. There's so much damage you can get out of it. Problem is there's no real health tank, so the passive damage is not that massive in this kind of a case. I've seen a lot of Shyvana just stop at Cutlass for the CC and just go tanky at this point. I think with Smitty being held down a little bit in items, that might be a requirement for him. We'll see as time goes on. Silver carry is pretty small. But he's waiting around in this lane. Equal levels, 2 chosen ones, so that's holding okay.
And the Bilgewater Cutlass is not as powerful as it used to be. But look at that cookie.
Wow.
Wow.
Can't go anywhere without dying. The damage output's way too high. Nicely done, Zaitan. To make that happen, Fox going to get his second blue buff of the game as well. This bot lane is all SK Prime all the time.
And Mr. going for the red buff now, but Brokenshard, he might have Dragon in his sights because they have a numbers advantage in the bottom lane. He doesn't see that ward actually in the back. He should.
He could. I don't think he wanted to clear it. He wanted to see if there was a ward because it got hit. It got marked.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know what? That's fine. I don't care about this. Bot lane turret goes down, so that's going to equalize the turret score. Fox comes by. Got a bit of ward coverage. We try to zone out Mazrin, but he's going to get this pink ward dead. But, you know, worth it when you got a dragon going in, so there we go. SKP looking plenty happy. Now up 3,000 gold early on. Smitty forced to ulti away. Chosen wants to fight this one if he can. Can he get the damage through? E comes down. Glitterlance as well. A couple of auto attacks left. I don't think he has the damage, though. Looks like Smitty will get away safely.
So close right there. And Chosen One, yes, he's absolutely bullying him around in the top lane. And Smitty, he's actually sticking around. Both have teleport. They can both back right now. Brokenshard is actually in the vicinity, though, and it could be a bait in.
Ooh, can they find this one? Ping him out. They know Chosen One's around. Brokenshard's going to see him.
He has it.
Flash EQ'd. No ult. He wasn't in range. Didn't cast it in time. Chosen One gets out.
Gets the flash, blows his own. The laner's flash is definitely worth a lot more than a jungler's flash, unless you invade in on him. But as a Jarvan, you have a lot of escape tools available.
Well, looks like we're going to be okay on this one. So, Brokenshard looks to be minorly available or aware of this one. I got to actually hand it to Mr. though. We haven't been watching him very much, but he's got 1 kill, 1 assist. He's been counter-juggled constantly and has actually been holding an item lead over Brokenshard pretty much the entire time. Boots and a Ruby Crystal. I assume Sightstorm coming in a second. Brokenshard, though, investing pretty heavily in wards. It's part of the reason he's down in gold. But something to keep in mind is Mr., that we haven't seen many successful stories from him, actually doing quite well.
Oh, Zaitan trying to keep the Dragon's Rage away, but it won't be enough.
That is not going to be good. Q comes out. Stranglethorn's not nearly going to be important there, and out they go. Smitty teleports in. I'm not sure what for, though. Just a loss of a 5-minute summoner spell cooldown.
They're going to start going after this mid lane. There are 3 members here on both sides. Almost 4. Zai's now shows up, and he has a big item advantage, though, for himself.
Look at the damage I'm coming in. So a 4-on-3, and they go for it. Chosen One not even bothers to come down to the mid lane to defend it. So I'm surprised that works. Now he teleports a full turret late. That doesn't mean anything.
Look at that. Just so much damage there coming out from Zai's. He's hit one of his big power spikes, hitting the Infinity Edge first, going after the damage. And I said before, Zai's is the person they look to carry. They put a lot of funneling gold into him, and he actually comes up with a lot of solo kills in the lane just by himself and his support. They have great synergy, and Broken is going for the dive.
Diving in, nice wild growth though, stops Smitty in his tracks, and Brokenshard goes down. It gives him some time to hit the turret, but not nearly enough. Oh wow,
so
he lost a lot of health. There's the ulti, hits Chosen One. He stays safe with the shield though. Turret about to fall, though. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. So they buy a turret with a champion death. Silver carry's got to be careful. They jump on in. One more shot. Can't quite get her. Wow, what a fight back and forth. Kills coming through, but the turret's still worth it.
Oh, Mr. taking a lot of damage.
Mr. goes and kicks him into the turret, but there's minions are there. Like, he can't. Oh my gosh, the minion line kept Fox from getting hit. Nice attempt, but really not worth it for Mr.
And he still wasn't in range for the assist me from the turret.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the ignite was ticking on Mr. He just barely got in range, and about, I think, 1 shot may have hit Fox, but that was it.
Yeah, it was 1 hit, but yeah, you're right. Outside of the range of the call for help, so multiple kills, 1 for 1 on each side, and the turret, of course, is a big deal.
Really ham time right here for Brokenshard. Goes into the back line, but he's in range of the turrets, and just gets taken down. A lot of damage dealt in from those. And right here, the Mega Inferno Bomb not covering to complete distance. Chosen One does get a shield, so he was fine no matter what. At the same time, Cookie could have been the end of him. And look at that, another fight just breaking out. Great Stranglethorn. Big
battle coming up. 2-man knockup there. Smitty still in the front lines. Again, just stopped in the tracks. And there he has Dragon Form. Can he go in on Silver Carry? Yes, he can. Big damage comes out, and there's the Caitlyn death. Brokenshard's still alive. With this one, the front line coming in. Flash Root's not quite going to land the hook on a Brokenshard as well. Chosen One getting
4-man.
Beautiful shockwave hits a bunch from. Can they get the damage they need, though? 2 kills picked up on each side now of this fight. Now it's time for the disengage. Mr. nearly out of energy. He's forced to run away in this one. Smitty still chasing. Gets his revenge on Chosen One, and that battle goes to SK Prime.
Another engage happening. They actually go 3 for 3 in the overall. And oh, they're trying to get Zaitan.
Doesn't have the damage though, and the root keeps him in place. Nicely picked up, making that actually, what is that, 4-2 overall in that fight.
Yeah, 4 for 2. Thought it was 3, but actually Zaitan's still alive, just flashing around. And the biggest part of this is actually the Stranglethorn right there, hitting 2 people, doing damage to 3. And then they continue this fight. The bomb comes in. Fox has not been in this fight at all until now. Silver carry gets taken out, but here comes the Shockwave. Just watch how he positions the ball. Snaps back to him, throws it, boom. 4-man Shockwave, killing 1, getting 2 very low. Broken Shard goes down. Zaitan extremely low this entire time. And Smitty just picks up this kill. Very brilliantly off on the side. He's getting that part where Shyvana has those ranks in her abilities. He's got the burnout now going up because he's maxing E in lane just to try and CS and have that range and reduce cooldown on his Lulu.
Well, absolutely great play by these guys to win the fight. Top lane turret goes down as well, so it's 4-1 in turrets. Almost a 6,000 gold lead for these guys. Gotta say, beautifully played. One thing I actually noticed in that replay is I think Mazarin dissonanced a little bit early because the radius on that spell is actually shorter than the radius on Shockwave. And W is instant cast, so if you Shockwave immediately W, you don't get champs in the very outer rank, and I think among that was Broken Shard, who didn't take that ranked 5W damage there, and that actually might have been enough to fight a little bit more in their favor.
Broken Shard did die immediately after.
Oh, he did anyway?
He got about one ability off. He tried to flag and drag back into the fight, and it was like, no, he's gone. Ended up dying. Zaitan's the one who got away with just a sliver of HP, and then it baited Mr. back in to try and kill him.
Yeah. Just one of that, if like someone else's cooldown could have been up for someone else right there. A little bit of a wave through, gonna keep bot lane fairly safe, so SK Prime can stay around Dragon. It's up in 30 seconds. Looks like wards will be killed away.
Oh.
Guys, too afraid to stay. I mean, for good reason. You get hooked and you're gonna like lose your team to fight, so. Discretion, the better part of valor in this case.
We see the Banshee's Veil completed for Smitty.
He knows. He's got Merctress there as well, home guard boots.
He's just trying to be sticky.
Yep.
It's his biggest thing right now is, can I stick to my target? Can I get to them and just completely run over them and cause havoc in the back lines? We saw it. They ended up splitting Chosen One off from everybody else.
Yeah, that was a pretty important thing, but now we go into the Dragon one more time. SK Prime have gotten all of them so far, but they want another one here.
No, they're getting flanked.
How good is it, though? Interesting fight. It's going to be a close one. Dragon low smites. Nicely done for Mr. Broken Shard coming up empty-handed on this one. Another battle in towards Cookie off on the left-hand side. Bomb not quite going to land. Not good for Mr. Pushing Zai's away. He goes down. Kill picked up thanks to the red buff and Lizard Elder there of Mr. And now it's a Dragon +1 kill. Invaders back in.
Yeah, Fox ends up getting a kill on Cookie. So they go 1-1. They get the Dragon for Invaders. That's a lot of gold swinging in their favor right there. They're about 3.7k gold down now. Set up
than it was
for the Baron. Mr. actually lands the Q, and they stop DPS for a while, but they continue it actually. Broken Shard is still on this.
Wanted a Q smite.
Yeah, looking for it, and Mr. ends up getting it. And they actually focus Zai's, which is really good. The tip of the Glitter Lance gets him, and the red buff from Mr. is the last little bit that they need to tick him down, and that is the main target they need to focus right now, and then have Fox be the secondary one, because he's 4-1 and 3. He's coming up pretty big now.
They're doing quite nicely now. Big front line. That's what we talked about. 2 tanks here for SK Prime against no real tanks aside from shields for invaders, and that can make things difficult.
And nobody really peeled for Zai's that fight.
True.
Because Smitty is more of a diver, and at the same time, Broken Shard is doing the same type of thing. They're both diving in, and when you get flanked like that,
that's the
they're going to be right in your back line.
Is how you're going to peel a flank with a Lee Sin on one side and an Orianna on the other. So one thing to keep in mind for SK Prime is positioning going to be important. Cookie half HP, hooks Fox. Out they all go. 2 for 1. That feels good.
2 eyes staring at you. Oh.
And the third eye is blind. So we're going to move on and keep everyone safe here. SK Prime looking to reset on this one. They are going for the Leandry's build on Zaitan. He's got the Frost Queen's claim, but haunting guys now. So just, enough to give the team vision and then be like, but I'm the real carry. And that's the way you play support.
Get the Burning Bush Zyra going.
Why not? Grab a Lizard Elder for good measure.
And now Mr. clearing out the middle lane now. But at the same time, Chosen One in the top lane, continuing to split push. He has that CS advantage over Smitty. Has the needlessly large rod. He's looking to try and split push this out. He has teleport. Smitty doesn't.
Goes in for Silver
Wow,
Carry, though. A lot of health. This has got to be really
Trying to play
careful
around
here.
the trap.
Caitlyn, the ulti comes by. Summon a heal. Flash as well.
Oh, he's got a trap already set up there. He has his Caliber net. Doesn't go over the wall with it. Instead,
wanted to buy some time. Smitty flashes. Does not in range of stuff, though. He's going to land. Slow from the Cutlass.
oh,
That'll be the kill. Nicely done there. Assist goes over to Ziggs, but top lane tier 2 goes down for the split push. The SKP needs this turret for it to be worth it.
need to get this from it. Chosen One actually has teleport, and he got Smitty to come back, so it could be a 4-on-4 without that big Shyvana.
Without a tank, it's a little bit harder to dive right here. You still have no armor items at all on Broken Shard. He's itemized MR because of the Lulu Orianna in the lineup there. Seeing this wave got cleared away, and SKP aren't finding anything happen. Recall in from Chosen One, as you mentioned, no teleport for Smitty. And Silver Carry's back alive. This is the only wave this could work for SKP without getting outnumbered.
Yeah. Having the siege come out from Ziggs, the bombs, they're clearing the waves, and they're poking down their enemies. Mr. has to back off. Zion looking to zone. They're going to get it for themselves.
Okay, SKP don't, they get it. Invaders don't try to defend. I'm a little bit surprised because they had the numbers, but it doesn't come through for these guys. So overall, small lead of the map for SKP. They're up 4,500 gold. Smitty's pushing this top lane. 3-on-1, staying happy. I'm trying to think what's the next play for either team.
Right now, SKP, they're just going to get their buffs. Going to try to get the next dragon warded up. They lost the previous one to Mr. And their team composition just does a lot of different things. We talked about it earlier. What are the things they can do? They can siege with Lucian Ziggs. They have a lot of things that dissuade people from sieging them. And they can disengage but engage. Whereas Chosen One, he actually abandons the needlessly large rod build and goes straight for the Sheen. So now he's going to start getting that AP and the Lich Bane and start going for turrets, being the split push threat right now. So that's what Invaders is going for.
I like that, though. I think it works really well in this case. I mean, it's very easy to be defensive with Orianna Caitlyn. Probably you still have to deal with the fact that Ziggs Lucian is really good siege.
They're going to try to split push against the siege comp. They're going to 4-1
Sure.
against the siege and try to hold.
Well, we'll see if it works out for them. I mean, SKP, as long as their front line's big enough, they can dive. It's just, it can be hard to dive in Orianna.
This is the deciding factor. If Smitty can duel Chosen One straight out, it really ruins Invaders' chances of using their win condition.
Look at all the engagement he's using. Chosen One still just trying to run, pops his own ultimate, half HP still, and this one Glittleland's back up in a second. And Smitty, if he burns all the cooldowns, gets the opponent at half HP.
Yeah, and he has pretty much no damage taken on him. Chosen One is just tickling him at this point. Stacked MR.
Yep.
All around for that top lane Shyvana.
Man. Imagine if he had Ruin King, too.
Yeah.
He might be able to get it now.
On top of the Spirit Visage. I think he'll eventually go for that, just for the regen.
I'm wondering if he does Randuin's instead for the slow. Instead of a Ruin King, because it'll haste him and it will slow a little bit more than Cutlass, you could just go Randuin so you can dive turrets later on to join the fight and use the active slow.
Yeah.
I think those are two great options for it. Both would work.
I don't know how afraid they are of Silver Carry, though. Like you said, Broken Shard.
It's more for turrets.
That's true. That's true. Broken Shard is prioritizing MR as well. They're just looking to build against their opponents right now. He could build the Randuins. He could build the Sunfire. See what he ends up going for. Chosen One back to it. Dragon is live, but that doesn't seem to be on the board right now for Invaders or SKP.
Just the siege for here. Smitty's actually making his way into the mid lane. Not actually prioritizing the turret very much. He's killing the minions first. Prioritizing farm very heavily. Finally, Lulu comes back to defend this one. Ziz pushed away. Once again, one more time. The poke coming down. Silver Carry half HP on this one. And the thing is, he's not getting to auto-attack minions, so there's no lifesteal coming in. The Q comes in, jumps to the ward, finds Wat the Fox, and down goes the Ziggs. But they're going to trade back. Looks like Cookie will fall. Yes, he finally does. They get Orianna as well. 2 for 2. Those Chosen One. Smitty joined up. Broken Shard dies as well. 3 for 2 so far in Invaders' favor. But Chosen One's got to be real careful. Gets back under his turret, but hey, these guys won the fight. Oh, maybe not. They're still trying out of the turret. Smitty nearly in range for the Q. Can't quite land it, though. Chosen One puts the Q down and gets away with this one. Nice fight for Invaders.
Chosen One having to back off right now. Silver Carry also was low, as well as Mr. It's a 3 for 2 in the overall, but in favor of Invaders. And the 2 most threatening members of SKP were still left alive, though. This is a I don't know if I want to say this is great. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike takes it so far back.
It's great. Yeah, I got Walk the Fox. Why not?
Kick him back. Nice ward hop to the side. Gets Walk the Fox out of it. Mr. at the same time. He actually does live through this. But a big part here too is Mazarin in the backline dies, where Silver Carry gets double buffs for himself and almost gets taken out. Very good play there from the entire team of Invaders, just to be synergized.
And that's the funny thing is, so Mr.'s been trying to make plays like all game.
That was a really good one.
I mean, yeah, that one was awesome. That was freaking great. That was my highlight of the day so far. Mr. is definitely an extremely good player by himself. Top 40 in Challenger, actually in his server, by the way, in rookies. So you can see how good he is, of course. Baron, though, going to SK Prime, and they're inside the pit, so Chosen One in the wrong spot. Uh-oh, this is not good if you're Lulu right here. Ziggs ulti comes in, pops the Lulu ult as well. Maybe he gets away from this one, but he's on the wrong side of the map now.
Yep, they get a turret for themselves, though.
Ooh.
They got Dragon, which gave SKP the Baron. Chosen One, how long can he stall this? Can Smitty hit him with the knee?
I think his mid tier 2 is getting hit right now.
Chosen
One shield, it's up. Nice, buys some more time. That will be a kill, though. He can't execute off this. And it does still have some assists, but mid tier 2 falls down as well. So now, here's the real question. Baron plus a kill versus Dragon and 2 turrets. I would say that's Invaders' favor. They're only down 3,500. They're catching up in this game.
Yeah, they're definitely getting themselves more gold off of these exchanges. They won the previous fight 3-2 off the play of Mr., who's had some great plays this game. We talked about how much he's been counter jungled by Broken Shard in the early game, and you said he's kept up. He also stole a dragon.
Yep.
And then he made that play with the Dragon's Rage backwards. Mr.'s coming up really big for his team right now, 4-3-4. Having one of the best ratios on his team.
One thing I do have to, yeah. Well, one thing I do have to point out, though, with this is we were talking about the siege situation. We still have no armor items in the tanks.
Yeah.
We have no armor items aside from half of a Zhonya's Hourglass for What the Fox. That last fight they had replay of on sort of top lane tier 2. Brogashard dove, killed Mazarin, and then died to a turret because he's got a Banshee's Veil for tank items. Like, that is a very real risk for these guys. That diving gets you killed because they're hiding under turrets.
That's absolutely true. Smitty, he's just relying on his Dragonborn passive, which is very minor at this point. And he's got the Blade of the Rune King was his next completed item. He's just going for the dueling potential against Chosen One on the split push, but they can't dive. And we saw it in the last game, we don't have a designated tank. It's very hard to dive turrets. It's very hard to close a game out. We're approaching the 30-minute mark now for SKP, being up only about 3.4k. Golds once again closing. Temporary combat stats, though.
Oh, sure.
For SKP.
They're good at fighting other champions, but they are not good at fighting turrets right now. You're seeing this one take a little bit of damage. Brogashard will take a turret shot.
Testing it out, you know, putting his toe in the water.
I mean, they're doing a good job of, like, dancing the turret aggro, putting like a plant down so someone can toss some poke out, but there's no progress really made on this turret right now. Smitty did steal the red buff away a second ago. He's sieging the bottom lane, so they're split pushing actually against their opponents. Seeing wave fear again and again from Orianna. Plants come down, and of course these things actually poke quite nicely. Mr. will lose a fair bit of health thanks to Leandri's Zyra plants. Something to keep in mind with these guys. So the headway is slowly being made by SKP.
Smitty, level 17, highest level in the game, being that split pusher up against Chosen One, who's trying to dedicate himself as one for a large portion of this game. Then he just got outdueled. And the win condition from Invaders swapped from being let's split push against them to let's team fight them and win in a 5v5. Very hard to do though. Zyes was very far ahead previously. The last fight got Silver Carry up 2 kills.
Yeah.
So he's been doing well since being 0-4. He's still behind about half an item though, a little bit more.
Oh, Smitty choosing to go in on Chosen One. Look at the damage up, and the Rune King uses well. There's Lulu ulti, but Dragon Form not going to get popped. He'd be stuck inside the base if that was the case, but you can see meaningful damage is being dealt, plus the Baron buffs there. So the 1-3-1 split push now coming in. The two guys who are most escapable being the ones there. Yep, Jarvan runs out. Zyten, though, going to take some damage there. Shockwave not going to land. Good flash by the Zyra. And everyone stays safe one more time, but that is now an ultimate missing for Invaders.
They have to play around that ultimate cooldown for SKP. Force themselves into the base now without that threat up. But it's very hard to do without that armor.
It is difficult, but these guys are still accruing gold. They're farming from multiple waves at the same time, but absolutely no headway being made. 3,500 gold difference. Not a very big deal. Baron buff is timed out. What10fox has to flash out. He's got to be careful, though. Will they go in for this fight? The knockup, the jump on into Mazarin, forced away. What10fox kicks into the team, and he goes down. One picked up. Now Mr. forced to run. Gets a lander, but he does get out. Would you believe it? Another kill picked up as well. And Lulu Caitlyn going on in. Zyes is alive, though, and they fire 2 kills back. 3v3 on the map. Cookie flaying Smitty. They're going to disengage, but look at this. The turret now under fire because the health bars are there. Mazarin has the home guards. He's running back in, gets the lantern in, but the turret is down anyway, so SKP come out ahead.
Mazarin, he's very close to having that shockwave cooldown back up. Imagine if he had had that during the fight and was able to use it in that cluster. It would have been devastating. And instead, it's used on a flash. Granted, Zaitan does die because he doesn't have flash, but
yeah.
Whew. Just the cooldowns there. As soon as that fight started, I was thinking, there are just more ultimates in favor of SKP. Just sheer brute force, they would win that fight straight out. Ends up going pretty even, except they lose the turret.
True. But that, I mean, that's a big deal, right, for these guys. If you're a siege comp and there's no turret defending you, you can finally poke your opposing champions down. You can finally start making headway on the inhibitor, and that becomes the real difficulty. The funny thing, though, is as we're talking about this game scaling up and the gold being pretty close, the power of the AD carry has actually switched right now. And Caitlyn's actually going to be doing more next fight.
Yeah. Right now, nobody ends up getting hit by the box except for Broken Shard. All these ultimates. What10fox gets kicked into the team. It's so hard to get to his Ziggs, but Mr. somehow manages to do it and deliver him into his team. Silver Carry flashes forward here into a heal from Zyes, and he gets baited into that back line instead of staying in the back and causing persistent damage, or consistent damage. And now they get a dragon for themselves. Baron's up in a minute now. So Invaders, what are they going to do instead of just sit in their base and let this split push happen? Nobody can really deal with Smitty right now in a one-on-one. You have to kind of zone him. He now has his Thorn Mail, so he's harder to deal with from Silver Carry. Went straight for the biggest armor item he could get. And he can also tank up a little bit of turret.
Yeah, he can. And Aranduin's finally getting started for Broken Shard as well. Giant's Belt was his first item after Lizard Elder. Just wanted the health bar, but now Warden's Mail added, so he'll be a bit of a tankier man, and this is a good set of items to come through finally for SK Prime. Yeah. I mentioned the AD carries differentiating because you've got Last Whisper compared to Ruined King, and that is actually a better item right now. In terms of damage output, that said, as we mentioned, he's fighting a Thorn Mail, and without lifesteal, that means you will kill yourself slowly but surely in that battle.
Yeah, he has no lifesteal aside from his Doran's Blades. He does have a Scrying Orb, though, so he'll be able to see when the Barons start up, but he already used it.
So Baron now being started after the blue buff steal went over to the AD carry. This is going to be a lot of damage. What10fox trying to zone the team out, but they know this is happening. Ulti comes through, teleport coming in as well. Baron, though, very low, and it gets picked up nicely to SKP. And here comes the battle. The dunk on in. Do they have the damage they need? Looks like yes. Broken Shard goes down. Shockwave doesn't hit very much, and this is going to be a big battle. SKP finding 3 kills for 1 so far. Beautiful fight.
Mr. in the Baron pit. Get me out. And he's done.
Triple kill for Zyes. Great fight, only Mazarin left up, and of course mid lane turret is dead, so Inhib definitely going SKP's way.
Yeah, they're going to just rush up the mid lane right now. They played it very well. They rushed down that Baron, and as soon as Chosen One actually came out of teleport, he was half HP. Immediately, had forced to use his ultimate as soon as Broken Shard jumped in, and they just caused all that havoc on top of the Cataclysm, and What10fox just throwing his abilities at it.
They're going to look to end the game right here. Minions are coming in, and Smitty has armor finally. Turret number 1, turret number 2 being attacked right there. This could be GG if they get onto this one. There we go, turret number 1, turret 2. Mazarin is gone, 15 seconds on the respawns. This will be the game. SK Prime. Actually, hold on, the respawns are coming. Will they get stopped? Looks like it's going to be the Nexus falling down. Yes, it is, and in 37 minutes, SK Prime going to make their way into the top 8.
Once again, into the top 8. Last time knocked out by H2K, so now they're back to start adding on to their points and see if they can make playoffs.
Yeah.
If they can advance any further.
Oh, they're back in the top 8. If they dodge H2K, then great. And it looks like it's going to be the case here. They'll face one of the other ranked 5s teams in the first round, judging by my knowledge of seeding, and I'm pretty sure that's correct here. Look at this game overall. Honestly, 7-2 and 10 on Lucian. Zyes once again the backline artillery there. 6-3 and 11 on What10fox on Ziggs. We said he was the rock coming in, had a very consistent game as well. He got kicked into the team sometimes, but I mean, it's going to happen sometimes, the big playmaking Lee Sin.
Yeah, and the Burning Bush Zyra, I was told that Zyra did more damage than everybody on the enemy team except for Lulu.
Except for Lulu.
That was the only person on the enemy team
yeah.
out-damaged him.
Chosen was brawling against Smitty the entire time, so it's understood. And
just trading back and forth.
Yep. What I really liked was that Smitty actually went 6-0-3. Was getting bullied around the entire game, right? Into a bad lane matchup, had to back for Negatron Cloak down in CS, but played it so well.
Yeah.
Smitty was awesome this game. I think partially an unsung hero. We saw some of his battles, but you saw once he's like, I think I have the item lead, just went on those and worked so well.
Yeah, he kind of shut down the strategy that Invaders was going for.
Yeah.
It was like, Lulu's going to split push, started up the Lich Bane, dedicated to the Sheen build, had the Ether Wisp. I was like, okay, now Smitty shows up with full MR items, duels Lulu, doesn't really use any summoner spells, forces him to use all of his abilities, doesn't take any damage, gets Lulu to half HP while running away the entire time.
Yeah.
Sticking to him, saying, all right, that's it. No more split push for you. Now it's all about 5v5 team fights.
Yeah.
So they shut down one of the win conditions for Invaders.
And hey, those team fights did work. I was still surprised by the lack of armor for so long. I understand the itemization. There's an Orianna doing well. There's a Lulu doing well. They had good lanes. And yes, the Caitlyn was held down for a while. But the fact that they were then sieging and then saying, you know what, let's go dive, the lack of armor hurt them. They were dying to turrets. And that was a really big consideration because it made the game more difficult for those guys. But when the Randuins did come in, when the Thornmail did come in, then these champions became invincible. And the front line was too tanky, and they finally broke through the battles. But it was an interesting game.
Yeah, it was a really interesting game with that tug of war back and forth. And once again, Smitty talked about him a lot already, that he was setting up the team for success. But I want to give Mr. some credit to his team. They ultimately did lose, but he did really well. Despite getting counter-jungled, he stole a dragon. He set up great kickbacks on What the Fox into the team. He realized who they needed to get off the field. He's like, we got to get rid of that Ziggs. Even if we lose this fight, if we kill Ziggs, we stop their wave clear for a little bit.
Yeah.
Zeiss is still around, so he can clear a bit, but it's not as much poke and siege.
Yeah, this is one of the things with the Challenger Series is we get teams that don't always succeed, but the players stand out sometimes. I know it's only one game, but I want to see more of Mr. Like, I really want to see that guy play more because he looked a little bit too aggressive sometimes, but I liked his willingness to play make and his actual mechanical skill on those. So I just want to see him again at some point. If this guy can make his way into another team, I'd love to see that.
You like how Mr. looks, huh?
Yeah, hey, it worked really well. We're going to have to go AFK for 3.5 minutes, but when we return, it's time for our final do or die. There we go. Game of the day when Playing Ducks takes on Thunderbot Sparta. Don't touch that keyboard. We'll be right back.
There's the Lantern.
Comes in, Lantern, good damage. He's got to be real careful. Knockups come by, and that's actually a kill picked up for the Zyra to start things out. So much damage coming through.
Calling.
Silver carry goes down as well. Brokenshard's still alive. This one, the front line coming in. Flash Root's not quite going to land the hook on a Brokenshard as well. Chosen one getting beautiful shockwave. Hits a bunch from can they get the damage they need, though. Jumps to the ward, finds What the Fox, and down goes the Ziggs. But they're going to trade back. Looks like Cookie will fall. Yes, he finally does. They get Orianna as well. What the Fox kicks into the team, and he goes down. One picked up. Now Mr. forced to run. Gets a lander, but he does get out. Would you believe it? Another kill picked up as well. And Lulu Caitlyn going on in. Zeiss is alive, though. And here comes the battle. The dunk on in. Do they have the damage they need? Looks like yes. Brokenshard goes down. Shockwave doesn't hit very much. And this is going to be a big battle, SKP.